Hey guys, and welcome to the first true foodie episode of Joe Benny's Smokestack. You're here with your host, Damien, and we're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving. Now, we know this is a bit short notice and Thanksgiving's tomorrow, but hey, it's the thought that matters, ain't it? Thanksgiving is a special day for many of us, for many reasons. For most, it's getting to spend some good quality time with family members and loved ones you might not get to see that much. For others, it's purely about the food. For me, it's both. Being away from my family this time of year is quite hard because, well, it's just not the same without a big old family pestering you or invading your home, is it? But we make it work the best way we can. And no matter if you're back home in the good old United States of America, or like me and Susie and Lou, you're in some other land, we hope that this video may give you a little sense of home and a good inspiration on what to do. So shall we get started, guys? And of course, the first thing has to be the turkey. Now this is a recipe for a roast turkey, and it's actually more of a Jalagi recipe, so a Cherokee recipe, that I've kind of interpreted into my own a little bit, and did a lot of searching around online and finding proper recipes, and I've seen this one on multiple websites and from multiple people, and I just kind of put my own little spin on it, so I hope you guys like. Shall we get started? I think we better. Wild roast turkey, or if you like me, roast turkey. So first of all, you need a turkey, 2 small apples sliced in half, 1 medium onion, 2 sticks of celery sliced, 3 to 4 sage leaves, and 6 to 8 slices of bacon. Now guys, what you're going to do with this is you want to take your turkey and sprinkle salt and pepper into the cavity, under the skin, and on the skin. Now take your sliced apples, onion, celery, and sage and stuff it not under the skin, but inside the cavity, because once it cooks, all them juices are going to mix into all that nice, lovely combo of things you just put in there and flavor this turkey from the inside out. Place the chopped bacon under the turkey skin. You might have to do some pushing and some prodding. Just try not to break the skin. And that's pretty much all you're going to want to do. Now, you're going to put that into a prepared dish, and you're going to roast it around 20 to 25 minutes per pound. Now, for the temperature, that's going to vary, so I'd rather you check with your oven manufacturer so that you know what it is for yourself, because I'd hate to give you the wrong information here. So you might have to do some research on that for yourself. I'm sorry about that. Make sure you baste your turkey often, because there is nothing worse than a dry turkey, and that is one of the worst things you can do. Now, once it's done, you want to take it out of the oven and allow it to rest for 10 to 15 minutes before carving. This just allows for all those juices to get flowing, make it even more tender, and trust me, you will appreciate that extra time you gave into it. Now that we got the important one out of the way, we all like a little bit of stuffing. Well, this stuffing, it's a little different compared to what you would have normally, I think. Here we have quite a varied ancestry, which means we have some Italian bloodline as well, and I wanted to show that within the stuffing. So for our delightful next course, well, not next course, but part of the course, is ciabatta and chestnut stuffing, which sounds just delicious. So what you guys need here, and the full measurements will be up on the video, so you might have to check that out. 3/4 stick of butter, 8 ounces of bacon chopped into cubes, 2 large onions, 2 carrots peeled and chopped, 3 celery stalks, 2 tablespoons of rosemary, 3 garlic cloves crushed and chopped, 7.4 ounces of chestnut, 1/4 of a cup of chopped Italian parsley, 1 pound of day old ciabatta, 2/3 cup of hard cheese, chicken broth, 1 cup, maybe more, 2 large beaten eggs. Now, as far as this recipe goes, it's a bit long, but it's worth it, trust me. You're going to butter a glass baking dish and make sure nothing sticks. Melt 2 tablespoons of the butter and add your bacon and fry it till it's crisp. Some would say saute, I'm saying frying. Now, with a slotted spoon, transfer your bacon into a bowl, leaving as much of that butter and fat in there as you can. Add the remaining butter and place all the veg and rosemary in it and fry it until it's all good and the onions have softened. Now, add your chestnuts and the parsley and stir it gently because you don't want to be breaking that up too much. Place into the bowl with the bacon with a slotted spoon. Now you want to add your bread and the cheese and coat it. Once coated, add enough of the stock to moisten the mixture. You don't want it to be too dry and you don't want it to be too wet. So you might need a cup, you might need a little less, you might need a little more. Just be cautious. Once all that's mixed in, you want to add your seasoning. Then mix in your beaten eggs. Place all that loveliness into your buttered dish and cover with foil and bake in the oven for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, remove the foil and bake for a further 15 minutes so that all those lovely bits of the ciabatta and everything else is getting that nice little bit of crisp to them. Now, I think we all know that Thanksgiving ain't Thanksgiving without candied yams, some good old sweet potatoes, marshmallowy goodness, oh my good lord. So this is what you need to make your lovely candied yams. First of all, 4 pounds of sweet potatoes cut, don't worry about the skins, half a cup of butter, 3/4 cup of brown sugar, 3 cups of marshmallow, and cinnamon and nutmeg to taste. Don't worry about peeling your sweet potatoes, just boil them with the skin on, because once it's boiled, that skin is going to peel straight on off, okay? Now, you want to get your oven preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around 200 Celsius. And again, you're going to butter a glass baking dish. Bring a large pot of water to the boil and add in your sweet potato. But you want to cook them until they're only just slightly undercooked. So you still want them to have a little bit of a bite to them. Again, like I said, don't worry about the skin. Once it's cooked, it will easily peel off. But you want to make sure that you've cooled down those sweet potatoes first, or you will burn the ever-loving heck out of yourself. Speaking from experience here, people. So once all that's done, in a large pot, add your butter and brown sugar. And once it's starting to melt, you want to add 2 cups. So not all of your marshmallows, only 2 cups. And mix it around so all that goodness gets ooey and gooey. And then you want to put in your spices. And keep mixing until all your marshmallows are melted. And just makes this lovely, gooey, sweet mess of a sauce. Now, mix in your sweet potatoes. And you want to make sure that at least half of them are mashed. So you got some small chunks, you got some nice and smooth potato because all that flavor is going to soak into it. Add the whole mixture to your buttered dish and place in the oven for 15 minutes. After that, remove and add the remaining marshmallows and return to the oven until they're lovely and golden brown. So, for our next dish, it's a little bit German, it's a little bit French. Both of these recipes come out of cookbooks from around the late 70s, and I combined them together to make my own special version. Of course, again, the whole heritage, German side, that's what I wanted to go down the path of, but the French side also appealed, so together, we combined them together to make haricots verts lias à l'eau, which I imagine I just murdered the French language there. It basically means green bean bundles with garlic and cream. So here is how to make it. And for this bit, I simply did not see the point in putting all the pieces together because it is so simple. So you want and this will serve 4 people, 350 grams of green beans, 4 thin cat and speck slices, salt and pepper, 220 milliliters of heavy cream, 3 garlic cloves, crushed, and parsley. Did you notice I changed the measurements on you there? That's because I want you guys to start looking it up and converting it, because it's good to know both. And also, that's mainly because we're doing this for American audiences and for audiences outside of the United States, so it's always good to have a mixture. Now, you're probably thinking, what the heck is cat and speck? No, it does not involve cat. Speck is basically the German word for bacon, but speck is more of like a cured fat. So cat and speck is more like a closer to what we would call bacon. If you can't find it, then I know what I use is a Polish bacon block, which sounds weird, but it is delicious. Failure of that, just use bacon. It's just as good, but we're trying to keep it a little authentic here. Simply, you want to top and tail your green beans and divide into 4 bundles. Now, take a thin slice of cat and speck per bundle and wrap it around it and secure it with a cocktail stick. Now, you want to put those into a steamer for around 10 to 15 minutes. Whilst your beans are cooking, place your cream into a pot with garlic and simmer for around 7 to 10 minutes until it's thickened some. If you want it a bit looser or a bit thicker, then of course adjust the cooking time. So just make sure you stir it frequently so that it doesn't burn and stick. Now, once your beans are done, you want to take them out and place them onto the plate, put a little of the creamy sauce on top, and garnish with chopped parsley and season with salt and pepper. I mean, come on, is that not the easiest recipe you've heard? And I can assure you it is delicious. And coming up next, we're going to do another German-inspired one. Now, in the US, we all know, well, I'm hoping we all know what a good old deviled egg is. It is so tasty and so good. Well, this is kind of more of a German-themed one. Again, from around the 870s, this theme is, and it's still as good today. It's a little bit of a quirky take on, you'll get a reference there in a minute, to our normal deviled eggs, and this could not be any simpler. So here is the deviled egg platter. Of course, you want to start with 8 halved hard-boiled eggs, half a teaspoon of curry powder, 4 teaspoons of quark, 4 sprigs of parsley, 50 grams of German ham, 2 teaspoons of German mustard, 25 grams of German salami, 2 teaspoons of mayo, and 25 grams of German pickle. Now, you may have noticed a theme here. It's got a lot of German ingredients in it. And you really need to find Senf, which is German mustard. It is the best in the world, in my opinion. If you can't find it, it is really simple to make. So, I'm not going into that right now, but maybe in the future. So, get onto the internet and research that. This could not be any easier. You want to half all your eggs and take 2 of the egg yolks and mix with the curry powder and 2 teaspoons of quark. Now, quark is a kind of German soft cheese. It's hard to explain, but it's really easy to find, so just get looking. If you're not sure, ask the people in your local store about it and they should be able to help. Garnish those ones with parsley. Mix 2 of the egg yolks, getting a theme here, with the chopped ham, making sure to leave some to roll up and put on top with your mustard. I'll mix those with the mustard. Mix 2 egg yolks with a chopped salami, and we're going to do the same here as with the ham, so you might want to use a little bit extra salami. I know I do. And mix that with the mayo. And again, this time you're going to garnish with, of course, the salami, like I said, like the ham. And for the final 2, mix the 2 egg yolks with your remaining quark and the pickles. To garnish these ones, you want to put sliced pickle on top. It's a little odd, it's a little different. Some people might be a little taken aback, but it's so good. And finally, we gotta have a good dessert. And what's better than pumpkin pie? Well, I can tell you, pumpkin pie cheesecake. Is that not like the best combo you've heard? So for this one, I'm going to have to show you bits for the crust and for the filling, so just hang in there with me. 1/3 cup cookie crumb, 1 teaspoon of light brown sugar, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 stick of butter, 8 ounces of cream cheese, 15 ounces of pumpkin puree, 3 eggs and an egg yolk, 1/4 cup sour cream, 1/2 cup sugar, half a teaspoon cinnamon, 1/8 teaspoon nutmeg, 1/8 of a teaspoon of clove, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now this is important, do not use vanilla essence. You want to use the best and the purest vanilla extract you can, especially a cold pressed. It is just the bee's knees. So you want to preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit. And while it's doing that, in a bowl you want to add together the cookie crumbs. Now, I would suggest if you're in the US, use graham crackers. But if you're not, for example, now this is going to confuse people that's outside of England, I do apologize. But use nice shortbread and malted milk, and they make a really great combination. So put those, the sugar and the cinnamon together. Add your melted butter and mix very well. Press the entire combination down into a springform pan. Trust me, use springform or you are not getting this back out. Set aside, preferably somewhere cold. Or cool, just so the butter can have that chance to settle down before you put the mixture in. Now for the all-important filling. Cream the cheese, then add pumpkin puree, eggs and yolk, sour cream, sugar, and spices. Once mixed, add the flour and vanilla. Ensure it is all mixed thoroughly. Place into the prepared crust and spread it smooth. You want it to be like a tabletop if you can. Place in the oven for an hour. And for goodness sake, please at least let it cool for at least 15 minutes before trying to take it out of the pan so you don't burn yourself. And also, it will fall apart. Once cooled, remove from the pan, wrap with plastic, and put in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours. This is a very good recipe to fix the day before if you think you're going to be running short on time on the actual day. And besides, who wants to be stuck in the kitchen all day? You want to be enjoying your family, don't you? Now, it's worth mentioning that most people are going to use cans of pureed pumpkin. That's all good and all, that's fine. But I prefer to use actual pumpkin, and it is so easy. Really, all you do is take a sugar pumpkin, not one of the big jack-o'-lantern ones, that's just going to turn out nasty, but a little sugar pumpkin. Half it, roast it in the oven until soft, and the top's browned and even to the point of blackened. That's what I do sometimes. Take it out, scoop all the flesh out, and what I tend to do is I just squidge all that excess liquid out, and it makes the most perfect pumpkin puree you have ever tasted in your life. Well, I hope you guys have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and from all of us here at Joe Benny Smokestack, we give you a big thanks on Thanksgiving. Hope that you enjoy our recipes, and if you do, be sure to tune in next week where the recipe will be nothing but good old Southern. And just think on this day of Thanksgiving of the original inhabitants of this great land, the Native Americans, because without them, none of us would truly be here. And there have been so many bad things done to them over the years. So let's give an extra thanks. With much love, we say goodbye until next week. Get out there and get cooking.